G'day friends, welcome to a page in 10. Today we're going to do something very messy, so grab yourself a little bit of paper towel, or if you've got a little piece of paper you put underneath your journal, you might want that because we're going to splash paint everywhere, but not paint. If you have any watercolor pencils, this is going to be a fun little, kind of like sprinkles, hundreds and thousands. We're gonna do like a fairy bread page. Oh, can you stop with this? I just turned this old phone on for a stopwatch and now it's beeping at me. We're gonna do like lots of sprinkles of essentially just watercolor pencil, but you're gonna need a paintbrush and some water and some watercolor pencils. I think the pencils work best for this because it's a really specific technique, but obviously this is just a page in 10 and nothing really matters. So just do what you need to do to have fun. But we're making fairy bread page today, and I think I'm going to do both because I just get a little bit happy with this sprinkles. So I'm going to put my 10 minutes on starting now. All right, we got 10 minutes. Let's play. I have like this weird feeling like I have to go in rainbow order, but you're just going to load up your brush with some water. You don't need it super saturated, but enough to get the lead kind of activated, and then you're going to brush it off onto the page. Now you can actually experiment with different types of techniques. Like you can make a really straight line if you do it a certain way, which is not the way that I'm doing it right now. I think that's the way that I did it. Or you can just kind of spread it around and do whatever. The more water you have on there, the bigger the droplets are going to be. I like to have a mix. So start with a bit more water, and then as it gets finer, kind of go into some other places. You get the tiniest little dots. It's like airbrushing. And if you get really good at mastering where the splatter is going to end up, this is a really fun technique to do in mixed media. If you can like really concentrate it, like to blush some cheeks or just to give it a bit of texture. I mean, sometimes you're just looking for a fun new texture in mixed media. Some colors will transfer off the lead better than others, but they all kind of take like a little bit to get going. So don't stress if you don't see the color come off straight away. Just give it a few more brushes with the brush and you will get there. I'm just going to cover everything. Just lots of colors. Hopefully I get through all of them in the 10 minutes. 10 minutes feels like a long time today, especially for something like this. But there are varying degrees of difficulty to the page in 10 videos. So don't worry really if you get the paint anywhere, because it is watercolor, it's water activated, so whatever you get it on, you could probably wash it off. Just some colors are a bit more staining than others, like some really heavy blues like this. Might be a little bit more staining. I guess I'm concentrating the bigger droplets towards the center of the page, but I'm also not being fussy. I would rather get all the colors down and a lot of color on the page than worry about where I'm getting it or how even it is. But the bigger droplets will start to mix together, so you'll get all of these initial kind of primary colors that you're putting down, but then you'll get all the secondary mixes wherever they decide to overlap and have some fun. It looks like I've got a lot of these pencils. I have them from different brands and from different Art Snacks boxes, so I actually don't have the widest color range. Like I don't have any really hot pinks or anything, which I wanted. That doesn't mean I'm going to go and buy it, but if you're wondering what I had access to, I just have this kind of set over here. I did get one more rainbow set in a recent Art Snacks box, so that was helpful because before that, I just had random one-offs. I don't really use watercolor pencils, but this technique is really fun. I just love that it looks like sprinkles or confetti, like birthday confetti. If you can get the whole rainbow of colors on there, that's just super fun. And there's no mathematical equation to this. Sometimes I'll see people asking questions like, how did you know that was the right amount? Or how did you know to put all of that there? And I have to say, there is something to be said for intuition. But I do believe that sometimes your intuition is led, obviously by your practice and experience, but also just like one of the things I was telling Steve when he's doing his photography is that the more you can expose yourself to the subject matter that you want to be creating or kind of, being inspired by or whatever, the more visual library you can build up, the better your brain is going to have at accessing that kind of answer without you really having to do the work. So you're kind of putting it all in the back of your head and letting your subconscious bring up the answers when you need to. So my advice is obviously, you know, you can practice if you want, like do it. It's always good to get practical with it, but expose yourself to a lot of it. Look at what everyone's doing and, you know, try very crudely what you think you're seeing in the stuff that you like have a go at it yourself. And you don't have to show anybody and, you know, feel like you haven't done a good job at it. Just have a go at it, keep exposing your eyes to it, and then you'll start to trust your intuition a bit more because you'll have this visual library of examples that your brain will pull from. So instead of saying, well, I want all of this to look really even with colors, so I'm going to do 3 splashes over here, 3 splashes over here, 2 splashes over here, and then I'll mix it. I mean, you can be mathematical about it if that floats your boat. Some people that really works for. But for me, I just prefer to be intuitive about it and then, you know, take a step back and look at it. And my eyes will kind of register if I like it or not. And if I don't like it, it doesn't seem too hard to find the answer if I've kind of seen it before. Like, obviously, I haven't really seen this kind of a thing before, like this fairy bread splatter page, but I have seen a rainbow of colors that I like, and maybe I could look at it and be like, oh, it's just missing some of the colors that I want. Like maybe it's missing a hot pink, or maybe it's missing, you know, some more orange. It just seems like there's not enough yellow, or I like my rainbows to be very cool toned. You don't have to think about it like that, but I feel like the more you expose yourself to it, the more that the answer will come to you intuitively, and you'll just look at it, and instead of really having to go in and be scientific about what's wrong with it, you'll be like, maybe more yellow. You'll kind of be led to make that decision because your brain will just pick up on what it think it saw before. Also, a great way to get around that is just to not care. That is also an option. That one I think I like more. I really, especially in these videos where we're just having fun with empty journal pages that wanted a second chance at life. Why bother? Why bother caring if you don't have to? It's kind of my motto in life at this point. Like, if someone is asking me to do something and they don't really care about something, then I'm not going to care more than they care. So it really takes a load off. Not that I wouldn't have initiative and, you know, go on above and beyond, but those are certain circumstances and maybe not all the time. Okay. The page is getting quite full and we only have 4 of my pencils left. So I feel like we're doing a good job. This is really the only purple I have, and it goes on a bit more purple than it dries. It dries actually really dark, kind of maroon, a little less vibrant. But I dare say you won't see the dried product, and maybe you'll see it in the thumbnail. I do have my heat tool over there, but I don't really need to. I don't need to dry it. I can just let it live. Part of me is curious to scan this at a really, really high resolution and put it in Collage Club, but like a zoomed in version of it, so you get all those really, really tiny dots. It's like pixels. It's like a printer. You look really close. There's just these tiny little dots of color all next to each other. And your eyes don't register them all separately, so it will show like kind of a blend of colors, like it optically blends. I think that's just really fun. All right, this pink, I do think I need a little bit more yellow before I finish. I'm getting too happy with those initial paint splatters. It's really big and muddy over there. That's too light to really show anything. Last one. I'm not going to put the black on there. I think that's too heavy. Just color. "10 minutes really does fly by, actually. I really did think when I was thinking about making these videos today, because I'm going to do a few, I was like, it just seems so long. Did I really do 10 minutes, or was it 5 minutes? Was it 1 minute? But I take it all back. 10 minutes is not a huge amount of time. All right, a little bit more yellow. because a lot of my yellow spots turned brown when they mixed. Well, kind of green, really. It's like a military green. Let's see if I can heat tool this in the last 50 seconds. Some of the bigger droplets won't dry, but some of the smaller ones will. I got the splatters all over my pencil. So I should have put them in a different place. Although it does kind of look cute and confetti-like. And it looks like I've really used my supplies now, so that's great. I will clean up my little... Or maybe I won't, who knows? Maybe I like that. Maybe I'm in my artist messy paint era. See if I can heat one page and at least get that for you. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't you hate that sound? Let me heat tool it just a little bit more. Now I'm not going to be able to heat tool it all, but I can almost guarantee that what you're seeing on the screen is not what I'm seeing here, because that's just what happens in the light and the filming and such. But there are so many teeny tiny little patches with just so many teeny tiny little dots of different colors, and it is so gorgeous to look at. I am going to try and scan this at a high res and just see what I can do with it. If anything, I'll just keep it for myself, but hopefully it'll make something nice for Collage Club. You know what's also fascinating? All of the grid seems to have disappeared behind all the dots. So didn't expect that to happen, but thank you so much for joining me for a page in 10. I just like to make these videos for you every now and again. I think it's been a while, but hopefully we'll have a few more out as well for now, and we can tackle some of those blank pages. You don't have to finish every page in your journal, but I know most people enjoy having a bit more of a full journal, and we just don't think of doing simple things sometimes because we just don't. We're always looking for something bigger and better, and you really can just sit down and throw paint at your page. It's not a huge issue. You can enjoy doing it and you can enjoy the result and then move forward and do something grand tomorrow or in the next video if you want to try something a little bit harder. Like I said, they're all kind of varying degrees of difficulty, these page in 10 videos, but they're all just meant to get you in your journal for 10 minutes with me. And I hope you had a great time today. I'll see you in another one soon. Until then, goodbye.